Hello and welcome to Recharge Wrestling. We are here to plug you in to the world of professional wrestling. I'm Keeney and I'm joined as always by Fisher and Krusty.
Hello.
Hello, guys. So joined as always. Last week,
Well,
I was here on my own.
Yeah, well, we're
most
joined.
of
We
you
joined
listens,
Keeney.
thank you very
We don't
much.
join you. You didn't.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
say we joined you.
yeah, when I'm here, you guys are here, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's
often
true.
not here. Yeah,
That's true.
just leave Fisher on his own, which we're going to do in Cardiff on Saturday. Just leave him on his own.
Well, that brings us on to why we're doing this podcast here. So it's a day earlier, but rather than review the week of wrestling like we do Raw, SmackDown, NXT breakdown of segments, we're just gonna run down the Clash at the Castle, isn't it? Not Clash of the Castle. Clash at the Castle
yeah.
Card. And obviously we'll touch on Raw and SmackDown and anything that linked in with the card. But we're just going to give you a rundown of the card, and then we'll also have a separate video with our predictions with the three of us.
I think this will be the first time we've ever done a all-in-one predictions video. It could be quite interesting.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and none of us know what we're going to do or anything like that. So it's
I mean,
quite interesting.
I
Fisher's
have
going
not
to be
planned
copying
predictions
because
at all.
Fisher should go
so-
first because he's
Why
so
would I
low
copy?
down the predictions.
Yeah, that's a reason
ranking.
not to copy, if anything, because I'm going to be desperate to try and catch. I've already got who I would think in my head anyway. Although I might
I think
change
it's
my
going to be
mind,
quite the
right?
clash
Yeah.
at the castle.
Yeah, probably at a castle. Yeah. So look out for that afterwards. But let's get into Clash at the Castle. I'm just off the top. If you don't know, us three are going. That's probably why we're all a little bit hyper tonight. We're all quite excited. We're a few days away from Clash. The excitement is building on Twitter. I mean, we've had so many seen so many threads of like people meeting up. So we're going to be around. We're going to be looking to meet up with people. So look out for us. We'll be wearing our Recharge Wrestling t-shirts that's modeled by Krusty for those on YouTube. So if you see us, come say hi. We're happy to chat wrestling at any point. So yeah, just cannot wait for it. So that is why we are super hyped for this show, and we are going to break it down now. 6 matches announced. This is obviously recorded before SmackDown on Friday, which was pre-recorded, but we don't know if anything's come from SmackDown, any extra matches from there. But the 6 matches we have, I guess we'll kick off with the newest match added to the card, the Judgment Day against Edge and Rey Mysterio. Who wants to lead with this one?
I can if you want. Obviously, we're not doing predictions yet, are we? But
No predictions. Yeah.
I'll talk
Keep
about
your predictions to yourself for
the
now.
feud and how it's come about and the segments involving these guys on Raw. So like I say, we're not going to review Raw and SmackDown fully, but we will talk about what happened this week with regards to these matches. And this one was obviously set up on the show. I think everyone knew we were getting some sort of match involving these guys. I was a little bit, I don't know about you guys, but I was a little bit disappointed we didn't get Beth Phoenix and Rhea Ripley involved because kind of set that up last week. So I was hoping we were going to get either a mixed tag or a 6-person mixed tag with Dominic still in between, which we are getting, which I like that because that played into the story. This week we had a segment backstage where Rey Mysterio had to explain to Dominic that he wanted a more experienced partner to go against Edge. Dominic was understanding at the time, but I feel like it's going to lead to the term we're all expecting. That came after a little segment with Edge and Kurt Angle, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, a little throwback.
Throwback, good stuff. Kurt Angle, by the way, I thought he was used really well on this show, not related to Clash, but really enjoyed his little interaction with the Alpha Academy as well. So yeah, it's good use of a legend there. But getting back to the actual feud itself, yeah, it's been building for a long time. Obviously, we've had Rhea sort of dominating Dominic, literally, and this has been.
This sort of hints towards something. I think the section at the end of that little clash in the ring, where Rhea's trying to get Dominic to give her the kendo stick, and he actually gave it up. At one point, I thought he was going to hit her. I'm not going to lie. I honestly thought he was.
Randy Orton's at home shaking his head like, why don't you just do it, mate?
From the RKO madness. I think this is hinting again at that turn.
Yeah.
Whether it happens now, I don't know whether they're going to want to build this more, but I think it would make sense for him to turn now, ready for maybe a Survivor Series clash. I keep saying clash. I don't know if it's clash of the castles come in.
Clash
It's
on
a
the
good
brain.
word, isn't it? Yeah, I think maybe in preemption for Survivor Series would be quite cool. That'd be a good match there. I think it would be a good thing to happen. I think we want a big sort of shock moment, even though we're all expecting it.
Yeah.
I mean, I predicted this weeks ago before SummerSlam. I want him to wear that ring gear as well, whether that comes now. But
yeah, I'm just trying to remember your prediction. And those who haven't heard it, go back and listen to a pod from a few weeks back where Krusty lays out his prediction. I think it's actually on our Twitter, actually. I think we tweeted about it as well.
I did tweet it, yeah.
Is what you predicted happened so far?
Yeah, so the turn is coming because basically Ray has chosen Edge over his son, and this was the jealousy factor. And I think the fact that he's passing the kendo stick to Rhea shows he's not in it, is he? His head's not in it. We've seen this split coming for some time, and the fact that they're against the Judgment Day, that purple ring gear, I think is just going to come into play. I think also this is a real random small thing that I picked up on. Dominic's grown a mullet, which looks really good at the bottom of a mask.
I thought this the other day. It feels a little bit more like it fits in with that gimmick than it does Rey Mysterio's son. It feels a bit more Judgment Day, that haircut.
Yeah. He's starting to look cooler.
And I saw a picture of him online the other day, and I thought, I thought the same thing as you. It is a small detail, but sometimes these things can mean something.
We notice these things at Recharge Wrestling.
We do notice these things.
Yeah. So I've got a question. Is Dominic Mysterio ready to be a heel?
I think he needs to be a heel.
Can he pull it off? I mean, he's going to be in a group. And also, what's his role in the group Judgment Day? Assuming he turns and this all happens, where does Dominic fit into Judgment Day?
I don't think that is the main part of it. I think this is just used as leverage to push him heel.
Or does he join Judgment Day? Does he just turn on his dad and not join Judgment Day?
There is that possibility, but I think he needs to be part of the group if he's going to be. I don't think he's ready to be on his own.
Do you have him with them? But he just needs this.
Team in with Balor or something, or team in with Priest, or
you could do either, really, couldn't you? But I think it's time he needs to do something different. He's getting a bit stale. It
could be the making of him turning him heel. Sometimes you see stale baby faces that you think they don't have any personality or charisma. Yeah, they turn heel and suddenly you think, actually, whoa. I mean, Roman Reigns kind of had that. I mean, no, not to anywhere near the extent of Dominic.
Early comparison, Dominic.
No, but if even the early stages of The Rock back in the day, people were saying he hasn't got any personality. He's not a great baby face when he was Rocky Maivia. And he turned heel, joined the Nation Domination, and become the biggest thing in wrestling. Like, people can grow into it because when they turn heel, I think turning heel sometimes makes.
And the feud you're going to potentially give him. You're going to get Ray versus Dominic, but will you maybe get Edge versus Dominic? Two people who could elevate almost anybody, can't they? So it's going to give him the best chance. And I have seen a big improvement in him lately. So in ring and out of ring, just his look in general. He's putting some size on. He's looking cool.
His facial expressions and stuff, and I've seen a little bit better recently. I feel. I mentioned that before. I think a couple of weeks ago, but I think he's done a better job recently.
He has.
I guess the other thing to talk about in terms of this match is obviously we're watching it live. So from a live perspective, we are getting to watch Edge wrestle live. Now, Krusty, I don't know if you've seen him back because you went to more wrestling events when you were a kid. I didn't.
I've never seen Edge.
But I didn't know if you'd seen Edge.
I mean,
I've not seen Edge.
I went to like a live event in Birmingham in like 2002, but I couldn't tell you if Edge was there or not. I can't remember.
So this might be the first and probably the last time we're going to see Edge. So it's very special in that sense, this match. And
he's going to come out to Metalingus.
Yeah, and he's coming out to that. We're going to go mad when that comes on. So I'm so excited for this match. It ranks up there for me. Although when I go through the card, I think that with every match.
Very strong card.
It's going to be amazing.
I think it's also the first time I've seen Damian Priest as well. Just as a side note. Because he wasn't at the last.
I couldn't tell you. I've been to a lot of shows lately, but maybe not since he was.
They were both SmackDown though, and he's been on Raw the whole time. I don't think he was at either show. I'm just trying to think the other day. I don't think he's been at either of the shows we were at. And he was on NXT before that, and we've never been to an NXT show. So I don't think I've seen Damian Priest live.
I'm looking forward to it.
So that's
this match is going to be good. Edge and Ray.
And also you've got
as
the
a team.
not the hometown as such, but Finn Balor is considered a hometown person. So
definitely.
you've got a lot of that on this card, and Finn's another one. So
I don't know if anybody isn't going to get a pop. I just think generally.
It's going to be Pop City.
It's just going to be like, how loud can you get? Like,
the atmosphere in the show is going to be insane. There's going to be pyro going on. We're not used to having that. When we go to, you get an atmosphere at the shows we go to, like house shows or TV tapings, but we're not used to big stadiums with pyro and everything for
60, 70,000 people.
It's going to be very different, I think.
I literally, I know, again, this isn't the point of this podcast, but I am so excited. Like
This kind of is. It's a Clash hype podcast.
This week in particular, I have just been sort of literally like all I've been talking about. I'm so excited for it.
If you're excited, guys, give us a tweet, send us a DM, whatever. Comment on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe as well. Don't forget that. But yeah, just let us know how excited you are. So who are you most looking forward to seeing? Which is a match you're most looking forward to? Please get involved. We absolutely love it. And as Keeney said earlier, if you see us, even if you don't want to chat to us, just give us a little wave. Say, Recharge Wrestling. I mean, even if you say you suck or something, we know you know who we are. So it's fine. Yeah. We're happy with that too.
Just encouraging abuse. That's fine.
You might get it back, but stunner.
Should we move on to the next match? I think we've covered most of this match without getting into predictions. I think we've covered everything we need to cover there.
Speaking of abuse, then, and brutality, Gunther versus Sheamus. This is going to be. I mean, in terms of stakes, it's probably relatively low. I know it's for the Intercontinental title, but. This could be a show stealer. This could be incredible.
This, I think, could be match of the night. I think this could be the best match.
I think it probably will be. In terms of the actual in-ring action, I think the feud isn't as strong as some of the others.
But again, though, we'll get onto in a bit of other matches, maybe not as hyped. We still got a SmackDown to go, and they might do some big angle on SmackDown with Sheamus and Gunther that gets us really into it.
I thought the actual angle on SmackDown.
I was going to say, I actually really enjoyed what they did.
Oh yeah, great.
With them just staring at each other.
That is one of the best visuals I have seen for a long time. Them two not moving and just people flying around the ring.
It was like two dads just staring down and dragging their kids amazing, up to the side. This made me excited because it's two brutes. It doesn't matter what the sort of how big the build has been.
Yeah.
You've just got two of the superstars who think they are the hardest.
Yeah.
They're the biggest. And as Sheamus said, he literally banger after banger after banger with Drew, with Cesaro, sort of noteworthy matches I can think of.
The ones with Riddle were fantastic.
Yeah, just incredible matches. And then you've got Gunther, who has we've watched him since NXT UK, so we know he's incredible, but even on the main roster, his matches have been heavy hitting.
He hasn't had a bad one yet, has he?
Great matches. So and I think these guys, judging by the size of the show, this is Gunther's biggest show he's ever done, arguably. I mean, I can't think of anything he would have done that would have been bigger than this.
Yeah.
He's going to want to put on the show. Sheamus is at that level in his career where he has to impress.
And
I think these guys are going to go for it.
Hometown,
I was going to say, what adds to
home crowd.
What adds to this is obviously he's got a home crowd as well in that sense. Obviously, Ireland technically not, but close enough. And also the big factor for Sheamus is he's won every single title in WWE. He's won Royal Rumbles. He's won Money in the Bank. The only thing he's not done is win the Intercontinental titles. So for him, it's massive.
This is a big deal.
If he wins it, then he's won absolutely everything in his career. If he doesn't win it, he may not ever win it.
Is that the Grand Slam? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, it's Grand Slam, but he's also won other things as well on top of that. So the Royal Rumble doesn't count as a Grand Slam or Money in the Bank, but
King of the
he's
Ring,
got them. He's literally a king of the ring. He's done literally everything.
I mean, we'll talk about it more in our prediction video later, but this makes it hard for me because I said a few weeks ago, Gunther shouldn't lose that title, but if he's going to lose it, it would be to Sheamus at Clash in the Castle. I mean, it's like everything is sort of there. For him to win.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see Butch and Ridge get involved in this as well, which is going to be a factor. Again, hometown for them. I have seen a little clip because we've got Butch versus Ludwig Kaiser this week on SmackDown advertised. and I have seen something that suggests we may be getting more leaning towards the Pete Dunne gimmick than
that doesn't surprise me one bit with Triple H.
Yeah.
Well, I hope
Pete
so.
Dunne as well. We talk about home crowd for Sheamus. You've also got the fact that the NXT UK route for Gunther. He's going to be popular in this crowd.
That is true. It is a home.
That's a good point
for him as well. He come through. He's wrestled a lot in. A lot of people. He's wrestled in NXT UK.
Some home advantage.
Wrestled in the UK a lot before even NXT UK was around. So this is a massive match for both guys, really. And you're right, because it's the closest thing Gunther's going to get to a home crowd as well, because WWE aren't going to do a show in Austria, but they're going, a European show like this for them is a huge deal.
Yeah. Interesting. You mentioned the Butch maybe getting more of a Pete Dunne character. Again, this is just a little mention of NXT here, but Pete Dunne had a video on NXT I think he was talking to Tyler Bate to big up his title match, and he wasn't like crazy snarling Butch. He was kind of himself, and I was like, this is different.
The little snip I say, I don't think it's a big enough spoiler for you to care about. So I just saw a picture online that got someone, because obviously SmackDown's taped, so someone had taken a picture, and it was Pete Dunne's old ring gear with his hair down at the show. So I don't know if he wrestles as Pete Dunne against Ludwig Kaiser on Friday, or if he did that afterwards, or what. Okay. But it looked very much more like the old Pete Dunne gimmick, which is fantastic. Under Triple H, I think that'll work really well.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see, because we
and that could even, if it is Pete Dunne, that could even factor into the match. He could turn on Sheamus.
Yeah, you could get that as a feud.
Yeah.
In fact, that could be an awesome feud.
Well, probably would be.
And that would be a great way of him losing.
Yeah.
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 I think we had doubts, didn't we, over Pete Dunne on the main roster. We thought maybe Butch was his best route.
Well, under Vince, yeah.
Under Vince, but now Triple H, Pete Dunne as Pete Dunne might work.
And also, you could easily quite have Sheamus turn full face, because he seems to be edging towards that.
Yeah.
I think you can do that and have Pete Dunne.
Heel Pete Dunne, banger.
And maybe Ridge if you want to or not. I don't really care what happened. To be honest with you, I'm not a massive fan of Ridge Holland. I think he's comfortably the third best member of that group. But, you can involve him in the storyline as well, of course. But
yeah, be interesting. And just another little NXT tidbit here is I think it was on Twitter, must have been on Twitter, just on the Sheamus seemed to say banger after banger after banger. And I saw Carmelo Hayes say something similar on Twitter, say, I produced banger after banger. And he kept saying banger after banger and did it like loads of times. And I was like, is that like a foreshadowing of Carmelo v Sheamus down the line? I just, maybe not, but it just piqued my interest, because it was quite clearly copying what Sheamus said on Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means anything. Who knows? Maybe Carmelo.
I can't wait for this match. And in terms, again, watching it live, I mean, this might be the match I'm most excited for, honestly. I don't know, though. It's so hard to pick.
I wonder if we'll be able to hear the slaps over the crowd noise.
Yeah, I think so. And also, by the way, this is also the first Intercontinental title match on a PLE pay-per-view for over a year. Maybe like year and a half. It's been a long time, so much needed. Thank God we got mid-card titles are important again. Definitely. What else do we have on this card? We've got the 6 women match.
Yeah.
Between, I don't know if Bailey's group have a name yet. Bailey.
I've heard they're apparently called Damage Control, but I don't think they've been called it on TV yet.
That's quite a cool name.
Spelled like control was on the keyboard, CTRL, like that.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I'd like a t-shirt saying that.
It's not been confirmed by WWE yet, but apparently.
Well, if it's not, I'll be really disappointed, Fisher.
Yeah, apparently they trademarked that phrase or something. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be called Damage Control. I've heard them being called it on Twitter by people already. So I think it's a thing. I think
it's quite a cool name for them, actually.
That is a cool name.
Those 3 against Alexa,
Bailey,
Asuka, and Belair.
Io Sky.
Io Sky. So
I actually really like Io Sky, by the way. Now the name, it's grown on me.
Yeah, I mean, as the name changes go, it's actually a fine one. I don't really mind Io Sky, Io Shirai. it's I think that's as good a name change as you can get.
So this show was an interesting thing for this, wasn't it?
Yeah. So on Raw, we had the main event, which, by the way, as we talk about titles being prioritized, the women's tag team titles as the main event on a Raw in a build, and as your go home show for the pay-per-view, is quite a statement.
Yeah.
But maybe even a bigger statement than that is the result of the match, where I think everyone and their father thought we were going to get Dakota and Io win the tag titles, but no, we had Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez
Swerve.
win the tag titles. I mean, what do you guys make of this? Because I'm not sure I'm keen on this one. I don't know what you guys think.
We haven't done skid marks and top marks on this show, but honestly, I would be close to giving it a skid mark because I just don't get the decision. I get there's a story being told here because Dakota was pinned and she wasn't the legal competitor.
And also we had Alexa, Asuka, and Bianca run down to ringside and distraction. That's the finish.
I think I'll talk about what I think is leading to in a second. But in terms of the actual result and putting the belts on Aaliyah and Raquel, I think that was a bit odd, to be honest. And it was a roll-up finish as well, which kind of cheapens it even more. And Raquel wrestled the whole match with Aaliyah on the outside. It was just a bit of a... I didn't really like the booking of that match, particularly. The story might end up being good.
I think it's strange. I think to bring the women's tag titles back, they've been off TV for a while, to build up this big tournament. And then, again, no offense, I'm trying not to offend Aaliyah and Raquel, but to have them as your first champions...
Well, they're not even really
it feels a bit underwhelming. And I think, in my head, you want it on your top team straight away to elevate these belts, and then then off the back of Clash, you have a clear feud with Alexa and Asuka. So just have Alexa, Asuka, and control.
Here's why I think it's happened, though. Right, so Dakota, and obviously the feud really with Dakota and Bailey is with Asuka, Alexa, and Thingy, not with Raquel and Aaliyah. So you put the titles on Raquel and Aaliyah, who are a team not anyone really cares about. And you can have them lose quickly the tag titles and no one will mind. I think the problem is if you put it on Dakota and Io, the returning team that I think is going to return are going to win the titles back. That's the story. So what I think we're going to do, right? If you notice at the end of Raw, you had the 5 baby faces standing tall in the ring together. How many people on a team at Survivor Series? 5. You had the 3 women heels outside.
So who's going to join them? Bring Sasha and Naomi back as heels?
Absolutely.
I think you have to.
You can play into the way they left. They're going to come out to a pop initially, but you can cut a promo, a promo about it, and they can get proper heat, and it'll be great. And then you can do a 5-on-5 at Survivor Series, Damage Control with Sasha and Naomi.
What's
versus Raquel, Aaliyah, Alexa, Asuka, and Bianca Belair.
So Aaliyah's been elevated there, hasn't she? How's she in this
you
company?
Can quickly take the titles off of Raquel and Aaliyah because no one will care. And they shouldn't have won them, by the way, because it was an illegal pin. Sasha and Naomi can come back and demand they get a rematch straight away because it was their titles and win. That's why I think they've done it. Rather than if they did that to Dakota and Io, I think people would have been pissed off. I think that's the way they get around
that's interesting because in my mind, they would bring back Sasha and Naomi as faces. I don't know why. That's how I envision them bringing them back.
Just the way they set that up at the end. I thought that originally because what I thought was going to happen on this Raw because it was main eventing. I thought they're going to come back here. To be honest, I thought Io and Dakota were going to win. They were going to be celebrating, and then their music was going to hit. That's what I envisioned ending. But when it showed that image at the end, and you got the 5 baby faces because Alexa, Asuka, and Belair were there, and I think that was done deliberately. That they had 5 of them. You had 3 on the other team. The heels are suddenly outnumbered. You're going to get it's going to turn into a 5-on-5 feud, I think, for Survivor Series, and you have Sasha and Naomi involved in that. And I love the idea of that because you're not doing brand versus brand for no reason. You're doing a built-in 5v5 tag feud that makes sense as well, 100%. Which I much prefer.
And so, thinking ahead to Clash, are we getting them at Clash, Sasha and Naomi?
That's what that is what I think could happen. It depends if Raquel and Aaliyah are there as well. Because
imagine if Sasha's music hits when we're there.
I think for a pop factor, I think we're gonna get some surprises. We have to.
We're going to get a surprise, whether it's them or they come back on Raw. I don't know, but if the way that it could happen is that
judging by what Triple H has been like lately, I think we'll get 2 or 3. I think they're going to go crazy. Big ones. He's used his NXT cards.
I think we'll get 1 or 2 we might get 1 or 2 minor ones and then a big one at the end.
I think a lot of his we talk a lot about people he's bringing back, and a lot of them are quite mid card. Bring back Dexter Lumis. He's bringing back Hit Row. They're not top of the card. Gonna change the way things are going.
No,
but he's bringing them back slowly, just to I think beef up the roster. The roster we talk about how thin the roster was. Gargano he's been pushed in at the mid card initially. I would say with Theory, like he's not top going for the title, is he? Yeah, he has mentioned it though. But so I think maybe big returns, and Sasha and Naomi are big. And again,
I've got a couple of opinions on this.
Go
on this result. So, firstly, I think it on one hand it could cheapen the title slightly. The fact that it's like the second biggest thing in the result. So yes, it main evented, but it was a roll up. But the main thing is the feud, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bailey's team versus Belair's team. That's the thing that came out of it. On the positive side, it puts more heat into that feud. Now Bailey's team, Dakota and Io, are really angry because they've been cost the tag titles, which means a big deal to them. So this suddenly, bang, again, something else to actually want to fight for and have a proper brutal match to just really elevate it in the lead up to Clash. Also, Aaliyah and Raquel, I don't think have too much going on at the moment. So this is a good way of keeping them on TV, building them up, the roster, so people tend to like them. I think they think a lot of Raquel, and they obviously think quite a lot of
I've heard Triple H is planning a big push for Raquel.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Since she won the title the other day, it said that. He pushed her strong in NXT, so it's not a surprise.
Yeah. She's great. And it keeps her on TV, doesn't it, as well? So I think as much as it was a bit of a skiddy finish, it does work, and it allows them to be pinned without looking too bad. It was from a roll up, it was through distraction, and it also then plays into Fisher's prediction of a quick title loss. Whether or not it's Sasha and Naomi, that'd be awesome, but I don't know. I've also got in my head that you're going to potentially get Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey tag teaming and potentially getting the tag belts at some point.
I'd be all in for that.
If they don't feud, maybe it may work better actually if we have Sasha and Naomi return, become the tag team champions. You then get Sasha and
Ronda and Shayna. Ronda that could be like a WrestleMania. Thing.
They feud at Survivor Series. They have a match that can carry on, and then they start to tag, as you say, towards WrestleMania. That's an absolute beast of a main tag match,
and
isn't it?
That's the women's tag titles. How important is that? All of a sudden, you've got Ronda and Sasha Banks.
You haven't got a mid card. The thing is, the women's, you haven't got a mid card title. So you've only got you've got 2 titles, one on each show, but you need to make that tag title mean something because you haven't got mid card titles to keep other people that aren't champions sort of interesting. So having that tag titles is crucial, I think.
I do think it would have looked good though on Io Sky and Dakota,
and they will be that.
Would I'm sure they'll get it. I've just got 2 more slightly disappointing points on this before we move on.
Oh no, not disappointing ones.
Yeah, well, one is the selfish one. I kind of wanted Io and Dakota to win, and then we get, I think Fisher, you suggested the other week,
for all
the belts. I thought maybe it's main eventing because they're going to win, and then it's going to have a brawl, and it's going to be like, okay, Clash. Now we put all the titles on the line.
The
and
problem
I was like,
with that is,
someone has to change.
I would say that. I mean, I'm going to give a credit early here. I think Dakota Kai and Io Sky are winning. You would then give the title to Bailey, which if they don't want to do that, you're putting it all in one basket there.
You know, we love fit teams with all the gold.
Yeah, we are.
We do love draped in gold, but I think it's too early for Bailey. I don't think she's done enough. I think it's all been the push has been Dakota and.
I mean, she's only had one match so far, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you need a bit more, and also I think Bailey you can really build in a proper feud. I think it would be a bit slapdash to just give her the belt from this, which is why I think they haven't done that.
I think I'll say what I think is going to happen when we get to predictions, but I think
try not to predict too much now. But I've got one other slight thing I would have liked to see happen that didn't happen. Was we've seen it with Gargano and Fury, we've seen it with Dex Lumis and Indy Hartwell. They talk about NXT a lot more now in their history, and there wasn't much here of Raquel and Dakota's history, which I was expecting. I
forgot about their history because
I thought the reason Raquel was in the final here is they're going to play on this Raquel Dakota history during this match, and they're going to build up. I thought they might have a promo at the start of the show of them two going head to head, like, oh god, Jeff, remember these two's feud, but they didn't really talk about it at all. And I was like, that was a bit disappointing for me. I think that was an opportunity missed that I'm surprised Triple H didn't use.
I do agree with you.
Yeah, that was my only other slight negative on that, but. I think we've discussed that match mainly on the one side, but there's not much Bayley, Alexa, and Asuka that's different this week than any other week.
No.
Does anyone have the match card in front of them? What other matches do we have before we get on to the
Seth
title?
Rollins and Riddle.
Yeah, let's
Seth and Riddle. Yes. Well, Fisher,
every time we talk, it's like every match. It's not like we're going, ugh.
Seth and Riddle. Again, we've talked about our matches looking forward to the most. I mean, this one, especially given this week on Raw.
I mentioned Stealer of the show with Gunther and Sheamus. This could easily be a Stealer of the show. The last match we spoke about could be a Stealer of the show.
There's potentially 4 or 5 that could.
This could be. I think there's 5.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one. This is a good match, but it's not quite the level. And I hope we change our mind on that. But.
Yeah, I mean, Fisher, do you want to go into what we saw on Raw between Seth and Riddle? So I know you have strong opinions.
Yeah, I absolutely love this because we got we saw them first of all, which showed in the car park early arriving today, and NXT. Triple H has called up NXT's parking lot to the main roster as well because NXT every week you feel like you get some sort of action in the car park. I've never seen it on Raw before, and all of a sudden. Riddle and Rollins before Raw goes on air.
That was awesome.
So I actually saw
like a fan video.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter of like a different angle, but another fan tweet was like, "What's happening?" It's like there's no cameras around. Why is this happening? And it obviously went on Raw. So
it feels real, doesn't it?
I feel like they did that on purpose and hoping someone recorded it so they could put it on the show.
It was that was cool.
Or they planted people to record and
And then we got, of course. A segment that was sort of arranged for them split screen interviews. I like it when they do this back and forth with Corey Graves. And the actual promo itself, the first bit, I thought, okay, this is all right. They're not going at each other really personal. It's not too heated. It was okay, but there wasn't any real strong lines in it other than Riddle saying something about Becky. I can't remember exactly the wording.
Yeah, so he said
the man.
She's the man of your
family.
One
man in your family.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's Becky. And how's Becky?
But what I loved about it is it then stopped, goes to an advert break, and the segment was supposed to end. Corey Graves goes back to commentary because he's done, but Riddle and Rollins are still there. And Riddle, it's like the camera's not meant to be on, but Rollins is like, Riddle, you still mic'd up? And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, that's when he delivers the most savage, and the way he delivered it so calmly.
Yeah, he's calm.
He's just like, oh yeah, you want to talk about my family? Let's talk about yours. You got a divorce, and your kids don't want to see you. And I was like, shit. And then
Jesus Christ.
And then Riddle just kicks off F-bombs all over the place.
Livid. PG-14 came in full swing, didn't it?
Yeah. And that was awesome. It really heated the feud up for me. That. Yeah. I feel like it needs a stipulation now, though.
Yeah, I think we need to see no holds barred, no DQ, just go nuts, street fight, whatever you want to do. I mean, yeah, I just love the attention to detail because they could have used that line during the promo, but the fact that they purposely left it and then come back like, oh, this wasn't supposed to happen. They've done that. Obviously, did it with the camera brawl in the parking lot as well. They're doing that with this feud. They're showing stuff that maybe isn't meant to be seen, and it's just adds an extra bit of spice to the feud, doesn't it? It just helps the feud heat up. And I just love seeing Riddle like this. I mean, we've seen jokey stoner Riddle for 2-3 years now. This is the most serious we've ever seen Riddle. He is fuming, and
Yeah.
I mean, this match. I know it's all kayfabe, but I reckon these guys might just beat each other up. I feel like the way
That's how it
they
feels, doesn't it?
were on Raw.
Well, I think there's what adds to it is there was anyway genuine heat between the two in the past. I think it's gone now. I think I remember Rollins in an interview saying he wouldn't work with Matt Riddle because he doesn't like him.
And his name's Matt Riddle again. We mentioned that.
I did like that.
He's not
His
just
name's
Riddle anymore. He's Matt Riddle again.
Austin Theory is going to be Austin Theory apparently as well, rather than just Theory. I think that's two massive improvements.
I think they're better. I think that's better, isn't it?
One name when it's just a name like that is a bit like Theory as a name. Just
Theory doesn't work.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
I said a while ago that I wanted to see. I mean, I loved the stuff with Orton, but I've said for a long time now, I want to see Matt Riddle from NXT when his matches were crazy. Not in terms of like big moves off the top rope that were like mad. I mean, just like the pace and the intensity he would bring into the ring. And I think we're going to get that now. You mentioned about he's lost the sort of, hey dude, gimmick, calm. He's getting angry now. And I think that's going to really play well into his old wrestling style. Seth, we know can take it up that notch. I also love the fact that they stopped this feud at SummerSlam to then build it even more. And now it felt quite big then, but now it feels really serious. It's less about Randy Orton. And I know they mentioned the odd comment about him being on the phone and things, which is quite funny. It's less about Randy. It's more about Matt Riddle and Seth.
Well, do you think we're going to get Riddle's normal move set and not his Orton tribute?
I still think he will use an RKO.
I reckon he might just go back to old school here. I would love to see him just do what he does and do nothing Orton related in this match because he's just too angry to worry about Randy Orton for a match.
It could be good.
I would like
to
see that, but I think he will. I think he will use.
So popular, I think they'll use it. I'm really excited for this match.
Is there any hope of Randy Orton return here? I mean, I don't know what his I don't know even where he fits into the story, but just someone else they could return.
I don't think so at this point.
I don't think they should. I think this needs to go.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think it's also picked up very well because at the start of the feud, I just kept thinking, I wish this was still Cody. I've forgotten all about that now. I think they've got that intensity. The intensity Seth had with Cody Rhodes, I think he now has with Matt Riddle.
In hindsight, because I kind of moaned when they cancelled the match at SummerSlam. But in hindsight, it's probably worked better because they've built this match a lot more now. It's a bigger match. Whereas when they doing it at SummerSlam, it didn't feel that big a match.
It was just another match.
It was just there. Whereas now it does feel like a proper match. And they haven't actually, what I love about it is they haven't had 4 tag matches on Raw or 3 matches on Raw one-on-one. They've not wrestled.
They've not even seen each other, have they?
No, well, apart from the brawls. But yeah, I mean, Rollins had a couple of matches. He had a couple of matches against the Street Profits, building up to it. I think, Riddle hasn't really wrestled in a couple of months. So it's really
since before SummerSlam.
They've kept them not wrestling too much. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that when it's a big match.
So clever. We haven't had a silly match on the going home show where it's almost obvious who's going to win. I have no idea, really.
Yeah,
what's going to
happen. It's
no idea.
I feel like
very clever storytelling.
We say it a lot, and Krusty says it a lot, but just Seth is so good at building up feuds, isn't he? He just makes, like, we talk about Cody, Edge, basically every feud he has, he makes like so hot. And this one, again, he's, it was his line that brought the anger. I just think Seth is just the best at building matches probably in WWE.
Even the way he left the set.
Yeah.
It was just like, I can't even explain it. He just like got up like he didn't give a shit, and he just like dropped he didn't really laugh or anything. He just dropped the savage line and was like, I'm done, see ya. I've done what I came to do, wind you up, see you later.
This match is going to be great.
His reaction was incredible. It felt so real.
Yeah, it did feel real. Riddle's reaction, amazing.
Can't wait for that. Can't wait.
Okay, should we move on to there's 2 title matches. We'll start with the SmackDown Women's title, which is probably the least built match on this card. And again, this has all been said before with the SmackDown. I'm sure And if they've got any sense, this will be the match they focus on SmackDown because they need to build this. They need to do a big angle on SmackDown with this one, in my opinion. And I hope they do. But as we talk, Liv and Shayna for the title, to me, just feels like.
I think they should have added Ronda to this match. I still think they may.
Yeah, it could happen because Ronda has been involved in this.
I think she's going to be there one way or another, whether she's involved in the match or not.
Yeah,
I think we're going to get Ronda Rousey ruin the match or something.
I think the purpose of this match is to build up the next proper feud. Whether that's Ronda Shayna, whether that's Ronda Liv, whether that's Charlotte returning, whatever you do, I don't know if you bring back Sasha here, you probably don't, but I just think this match is serving a purpose after Clash. I don't think this is the match they were building for, which is a shame because Shayna has been built a bit better since Triple H took over. And I just hope they make her look really good, Shayna, on SmackDown, because this is a match I want to get more excited for. But at the moment, this is, it's a title match and Liv Morgan's second ever defense, so it's a pretty big match anyway. I
think it'll be a good in-ring match. It just hasn't quite got the star power of some of the others. It hasn't quite got the story of some of the others. It's intriguing, as I'm not 100% sure who's going to win at all. Like, that's what I love about this card, is it's quite, all the matches I'm quite torn. Honestly, other than about one, maybe two, where I'm like, okay, I'm definitely picking this person.
But
I'm going into our prediction.
Fisher, though. She's way down on.
Well, I've risen a little bit. I did get 100%.
You did get 100%.
That was on an AEW show, though, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, I think so.
This is different. Maybe All Out will be my best predictions then. In that case.
The cheeky little plug midway there for Fisher will be doing an All Out.
Fisher's going to be doing his All Out.
Yes, I will do
All
an
Out
AEW.
pod.
If anyone, any AEW fans, I will be doing an AEW video this week. I'll probably do it in a similar format to this. I probably won't review the whole of Dynamite and Rampage. I'll probably just review the preview All Out.
All Out preview for you all. And me and Keeney are focusing purely on Clash of the Castle. We're your Clash hosts. Well, we're not, but yeah, we're going to be there every step of the way.
Clash host.
And NXT we're just ignoring this week, by the way. I know there's a pay-per-view for that.
For those die-hard NXT fans, we apologise. We'll be back next week for that one.
Yeah, well, it's a bad week to have a pay-per-view NXT, unfortunately, with All Out and Clash of the Castle.
Honestly, they've built the card is looking good now. But
it is a bloody good card.
I'm still looking forward to watching it, but
I must say, I'm a little bit concerned that we've bulked out Liv Shayna with every other show. I mean, I think you've guessed which one
there isn't much to say
about.
On the build yet, is there?
There's not a lot to say on the build.
The only thing I do like was what happened with Shayna basically saying, I'm not going to break your arm because I could take your arm and your title.
Do it.
That was a cool line. They are making her look savage. They showed some video packages of her hurting
I like
Nia
that
Jax
stuff.
and things like that, which I thought was really cool. And
that's the Shayna Baszler we need to see.
I don't think Liv's fully recovered from the SummerSlam match yet, to be honest, with the Ronda finish.
Well, we're talking about good reactions. Liv Morgan's one who,
I'm a bit worried because the UK crowds can be a bit.
I'm sure she will get a good reaction, but she's not had a good reaction in recent weeks.
It's not as bad as the other week when she got fully booed.
Yeah,
I think this needs to be a reset. I think like the tag titles, you use this as a way of creating another story.
Yeah.
This isn't the main purpose of this match. The main purpose is to probably bring Ronda in and create that Shayna Baszler Ronda feud and create another star in Shayna, I think, is what you do here. And then Liv can go on and elevate against a proper heel and hopefully get some momentum. If Liv loses here, that's it. I think she's done. They'd be crazy to let her lose here because I think you've then wasted a really good opportunity for a star who had so much momentum going into SummerSlam. I've never seen such a crash of popularity. It was crazy. She was mad. We were talking about her being like almost chasing Becky levels, and then she just like went. It was mad, absolute madness.
Shall we move on to the main event?
Oh, Fisher
Well,
can't
we
wait.
could-
You're going to have away
enough.
living, Shayna.
It's not enough.
Fisher's definitely going to go buy some nachos during that match.
I'm not. No, I won't get up.
He'll
during
be doing his
matches, especially at
AEW
pay-per-view.
podcast
We didn't even
during
get
it.
up for a Liam and Shotzi when half the crowd did. Where the last show we went to.
We watch every
Liam and
match. We
Shotzi come
don't-
on, and
yeah.
everyone just got up and walked out. We were there like, come on.
We watch
loved
every
it.
match intently. Yeah, we treat it all with respect here at Recharge Wrestling.
But it's because
We
we
just
knew
like to have a laugh.
it's because we knew we were watching the future women's tag team champion, didn't we?
That's
That's what it
exactly
was.
what we knew.
Yeah.
I might get up if Tyson Fury has an ending segment. That's a cheeky segue. Then
Oh yeah,
then,
rumored,
that's
isn't
when I
it?
might get up first because I'm not gonna care about that.
Fisher.
Rumored.
I'm going to be watching that intently.
Oh,
think
can
that'd
can
be
I
quite
have a
funny.
prediction on who I think it would be against Tyson Fury's segment?
Go on then.
Go on then. 'Cause
Omos.
I don't. Oh no, not that.
I
please.
think they'll do Fury and Omos.
Well, the thing is, him and Drew have had loads of back and forth over the last year or so on
Oh, but Drew's got more
TV
important
and
things to be
social
doing.
media. Is he going to get involved in that? Like, I hope not. I hope
If
not.
Tyson Fury gets involved in
Unless
the
he
main
comes out
event,
and
I will
celebrates him
riot.
with him at the end.
I
Um,
reckon they'll set up an Omos thing and then do that. I don't know,
I
Mania or
was
something.
hoping Omos was done, if I'm honest.
I mean, he has nothing to do, but they might just do a big Omos Fury, two huge guys in a match. I mean, Fury's
I don't think
was
they're going
against
to
Big
put
Show
Fury
before.
against someone as inexperienced.
Anyway, this is turned into the
yeah.
prediction show. What's going on?
Yeah, but this
No,
is
well,
this is
we're not
not
going to predict because it's not on the
prediction.
card. We can talk about surprises and who we think is going to show up. And
Yeah, stop-
Tyson
stop
Fury,
telling
by
us
the way,
off,
the report
Krusty.
is
I
he's
can't help it.
definitely. It was announced a while ago because there's this convention before, and he's there in Cardiff. And I was like, well, he's going to be on the show. Like, you can meet him. You can meet Mickey James. That's
Well, so yeah, so
Mickey
the
James.
Undertaker.
Well, how did you get Mickey James into our Clash at the Castle podcast?
because she's in Wales. She could be a surprise.
He's relentless.
I'll be well excited if she came out.
You can't help it, Fisher, can you? You can't help it.
And there's various others. I think there's Lucha House Party or something. I don't know.
All right,
But anyway,
let's,
when that was announced,
We're really
spot on this
going
time.
off now.
yeah, let's
talk about
move
the
on
main
to the
event.
main event. We're
Let's
we're
focus.
delaying the main event for Lucha House Party at the moment. The main event of Clash, the big Clash, is Drew McIntyre and
That was terrible.
it was Drew McIntyre and your tribal chief and mine, Roman Reigns, in the main event. I mean, this match is gonna. Okay, we said it so many times, but match of the night. This could easily be match of the night. I think they're going to go big on this match.
Yeah.
This match is going to get a decent amount of time. It's going to be brutal. There's going to be Usos flying around. There's going to be Sami Zayn flying around. You might see Owens pop out here. I don't know what you're going to see, but
It's going to be crazy, isn't it?
it's going to be carnage. And again,
Might
without
see a
getting into
dragon come and bite
predictions,
someone's head off.
I have no idea who's going to win this match. I have zero idea. I am torn. I don't know who's going to win this match. I think it could go either way. But the
I do as
build
well. I agree. With you.
They
has
have
been
to go
really
big
good.
here. The thing is, I love they have built this amazingly. We
Yeah.
were talking a few weeks back. Are we that bothered about Drew? Really? Is he a bit stale? But wow, what a job they have done. I can't wait for this. I'm really invested. I'm on Drew's side, even though I love Roman Reigns, just because of the way they built the story. I want him to win. And the stuff with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is like as recent as this week. It's just
Yeah.
mad.
Can I just tell you how good is Sami Zayn? On Friday, he was amazing when he was in the
He's fantastic.
he was in a dressing room with Roman,
Roman.
and he was sitting next to him and he was doing his little dance thing and
Jay
like,
Uso laughing.
yeah,
though,
and
brilliant.
Reigns laughed as well. He got him, and then on SmackDown on Raw, he was with the Usos and
The stuff
his
with
thing
Owens
with
was amazing.
Owens and
Yeah.
Usos
refusing
as
to hit
well, I
him.
think, have come a long way in storytelling with different
Well, they have.
personalities.
We are back to them having personalities. Usos, Jey Uso,
Individual,
Main event
individual
game.
as well.
Yeah.
Not the same.
They're,
They're, not the
they're
same.
not just the twins who follow Roman blindly. There's a bit of a dynamic there, and Sami Zayn had such an extra dynamic that we have predicted Sami Zayn being in the bloodline.
I didn't like him before.
Yeah.
Before he really got involved with the bloodline, but now
This is a guy who was
water
with
under the bridge.
Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. He's now in with the bloodline and Roman
That was quite
Reigns.
And
cool,
that
though, to
that
be
was
fair.
great as well. By the way.
Yeah, it was, but this is like such a sea change.
I
I know.
feel like he's changed his voice a bit as well.
No,
I feel like he's going to
just-
be cutting his hair as well. Back going Because KO mentioned it, didn't he, in the promo. I think when we get the babyface turn, we're getting the old Sami Zayn haircut. We'll get the old Sami Zayn music because we've got the old KO gear and going on. I think we're going to get old school KO and Sami.
Oh,
and it's
I
going to
wonder
be
whether
amazing.
this is setting up.
And I hope they're at Clash. By the way, I want to see them. They're my two favorite guys on the roster at the moment. Honestly,
Sami will be there, and I'm sure KO will be there.
Well, I don't think it's guaranteed because Roman comes out for at least big matches on his own a lot, and
you're at least going to have backstage.
The Usos come out. Dude, I think we need to see SmackDown first before we know, because I think
we do.
My prediction is that they're going to turn on Sami on SmackDown.
Could Sami come? If that happens, Sami Zayn could come in and cost Roman.
Yeah, KO and Sami probably, and that's when
the Usos will come in and they have a battle about it. Yeah.
I want to see all of this unfold.
There's so much possibility here,
and I want to say we were talking about the Drew build, the video packages they've done for Drew, the stuff they've done for Phenomenal. Drew, the promos have been absolutely brilliant. Really, really, really good.
The story,
honestly.
Just the fact that he carried it through COVID and things like that. Obviously, you had the stuff way before that with him leaving WWE, his mum being ill and things like that. It's just built incredible.
I think we're going to get a massive pop for Drew when he comes out, because I think as well he's teased it on social media with posting lyrics from the song. I think he's going to come out to Broken Dreams, which is a song people love, his original WWE song. People are going to go nuts.
I think you're going to have I think it might go into that. I wonder. I definitely think you'll have his original.
You might have the sword bit at the start, like the and then
the pop, because you might get some people going, "Hey."
I don't think they will with Drew McIntyre, because he did it at NXT Takeover when he had his first match back. I want to say, or was it his time? He did it in NXT in one of his matches in NXT, and the crowd went nuts. And he's been teasing it on social media, so I think it's going to happen. Everything's set up for Drew to win, but is that because Roman's winning? Like, I don't know. Is it because they want Drew to be the next champion? They're going to give him the moment, or is it because they're setting all this up?
This is a massive bill. If he loses it, there's going to be tears in that crowd.
But I think when we went to the last WWE show, do you remember how over Roman Reigns was? People were booing McIntyre against Reigns in that match.
Yeah. Roman Reigns, he might get the biggest pop of the night. I think Drew will. But...
I think we're underestimating the Tribal Chief.
Yeah,
I'm not underestimating him, but I think in all the stuff with Sami and KO is bringing the focus off of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a bigger moment because that was a house show. Drew's not winning the title on a house show, is he? So it's never realistic that Drew's going to win. So people were just having fun with that. Whereas this is serious. Drew could win the title.
And who else could beat him? If it's not Drew, who? You can't have The Rock beat him.
Cody.
And I think if you want that match at WrestleMania...
Seth or Cody. They're the only other two options, I think.
Seth, you need Seth versus
No, Triple H,
Cody.
Johnny Gargano or Ciampa.
I think they need to get the belt split. Seth gets one of them. You can't get rid of that story. You can't. The Cody story. You have to use that. That's too good.
Do, yeah.
If he can come back, you need Seth to have a title, and you need Cody to win the Royal Rumble. That is way too good to pass up. Way too good, and it also gives Seth longevity. Gives him a title because he's still. I know he's been built up a bit more in recent weeks to being a stronger wrestler, but he has lost a lot still. You mentioned all the feuds he had that were great. Edge, Cody.
He lost them all, yeah.
He lost them all. So he does need something eventually, doesn't he, to give him some credibility.
I think as well that did you see the closing? Well, you would have seen it, but the closing image of SmackDown last week was such a powerful.
Roman sat on him.
Roman sat on over Drew, and then you had the Usos and even Sami in the background. With their hands up. I just thought that was brilliantly shot. And again, it's the kind of angle where you've got to set the babyface up to win. Yeah. I don't know whether I'm not going to say my final prediction. So I don't even know myself.
Claymore in everyone this week.
Do you reckon we even get Drew and Roman on SmackDown? I reckon they might just leave.
No, Roman's doing a 2-year celebration.
Of course he is.
Surely he's going to be interrupted. Surely there's going to be a Claymore.
Well, I think what's going to happen is 2-year celebration of Roman Reigns. We had that angle on Raw with
So
Sami
you think it's more
not
to
helping
Usos and Sami
I think
rather than Drew?
Drew might be there, but I think we're going to get them turn on Sami Zayn here, and Kevin Owens is going to make the save here.
We're predicting SmackDown.
Either that, or he's going to tease it even further, and then it happens at Clash. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I would love to see it happen at Clash because I want to see KO and Sami Zayn there. I think they should be there. But who knows? They might not even be there.
I mean, that could be. Again, we haven't seen SmackDown because it hasn't aired yet. But they could have a late addition to the card. KO and Sami v Usos. Just throw it in there right at the end. I mean,
as much as I bloody love it, it's too early.
We'd have heard about that. Surely.
It's too early. Yeah, I think we'd have heard about it. I think it's too early as well.
It's not going to happen.
I think. As much as I'd love to see that match live, because I think we'd get a title change as well. I don't think it's going to happen yet. I think we save that for Survivor Series.
Just without going into any predictions properly, but is anyone thinking about Mr. Theory, Money in the Bank here?
Well, there's always that.
He's in the back pocket.
There's always
when Vince was here, 100%. Now, I don't know.
I don't think so on this show. I don't think you can do it either way because if he
could come out and have another failed cash in.
Yeah, he could come out and tease it, and then maybe you get Gargano stop him or something like that. I don't know. I'd love to see Johnny Gargano in person. So
no, you're probably right because I mean, well, it can't be a successful cash in because you're not going to have your title feud as Gargano v Theory. In all fairness, are you?
Theory.
I think if Bale's attempted cash in, not he shouldn't cash in. I think he should fail to cash it in.
Yeah.
So super kicked on the ramp or something like that.
I would love for them to find a way to split the titles here or somewhere, or maybe again hypothetically, Drew wins and then he goes on Raw and he says, "Well, I'm not doing both brands, so I'm splitting the belts myself." That could be a way to split them. I don't know. I don't know how to do it, but I think that's like. Triple H would be desperate to do is split those belts.
Happily, I think, let him keep it until Survivor Series. That's when he puts one up.
Yeah.
So one belt can be lost and he loses through crazy shenanigans, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Could do. But exciting.
It's gonna be awesome.
That's what a card, and I mean, we're all so excited. I mean. I think I've ever seen us for such energy before in a pod, man. We are gagging for it, aren't we?
Yeah,
we
really are.
We can't wait. So does anyone else have any comments on that match before we move on to the end of the pod?
Yeah, no, let's move on, wrap it up, and we can go to
brilliant. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this one. So this was our Clash at the Castle hype. We are going to be doing a shorter, snappier predictions video. So please check that out and give us your predictions in the comments. Please follow us on Twitter at Recharge Wrestle. Follow us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. You can find us Recharge Wrestling. And yeah, keep an eye out for Fisher's AEW build videos. And yeah, please check out all our content and we'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
See you soon.
Bye.